People, let's stay focused. It's your boy Tone 202. Coming at you one more again. Had a rough morning. Rough yesterday too. It's just I'm in a funk. I'm in a little bit of a funk. Just at odds with myself, you know, over people I'm involved with that it doesn't matter. I just got some decisions to make. But I wanted to make this a stolen Valor video. And I just wanted to talk about it because I had a situation recently where I was down at the gym and a guy came in there in his work outfit on. Nothing wrong with that. People do that all the time. And guy came in there with his work outfit on and we got to talk about religion, and that's always a heated argument. Turns into an argument. I try to stay away from it, but they involved me. They was like, well, what do you think? I'm like, who am I, to say what is what except what I read and what I experience, on God and Christ and all that other stuff. But nonetheless, what got me is this dude got to talking about the military, and when he started spouting off about what we should do as a people and how to protect ourselves against people who are out here just killing us, and doing us a disservice. He said, and then he brought up his background and what he did in the military. And this is how you can tell somebody is a fraud. He goes, I go, okay, were you in the military? And he goes, yeah, I was in the military. He said, I was a Navy SEAL. And my immediate reaction to that is start to investigate. Start to ask questions that are going to make him reveal or at least allow us to know if he was really a Navy SEAL or not. So my reaction was, oh, okay, you were a Navy SEAL. He was like, yeah, for 20 years. I'm looking at the dude and I'm like, you're a Navy SEAL for 20 years. And I say, so when did you graduate? What was your graduating class? If you're a Navy SEAL for 20 years, when did you graduate? Let us know. And he says, I'm not going to tell you that. Now, immediately, all these Navy SEAL guys are all black ops and classified. Everything they do is classified. Now let's get this straight. Let's get this straight. They might do some stuff that is classified, but your whole record is not hidden. I told him, I said, listen, I can just go online and find out if you were ever a Navy SEAL or not. I said, there's a whole, whoever is a Navy SEAL, they have an open list and tells you who is a Navy SEAL, who was UDT even before the Navy SEALs. Because I'm thinking that 20 years ago, he might have been UDT, but I'm like, well, wait a minute. He's not as old as Jesse the Body Ventura. He was UDT. That was the beginning, which is underwater demolition technician or something like that. But they were the beginning of Navy SEAL, the frogmen. So I just got to asking him some questions, and he was like, why would I tell you that? And my thinking is this. There's 6 of us in this conversation. You're directing your comments to me, basically. Talking real loud, too. Nobody else is talking loud but him. And That's another reason why I knew he was a fraud. And we're all looking at him like, okay, you're a Navy SEAL for 20 years. These other people are young. And they never been in the military. So me and him get talking military talk, and I'm like, but we're all looking at him like, something skeptical about this dude. Something ain't right here. You know what I mean? Because you're talking loud for no reason. You arguing. You're combative for no reason. We're all trying to calm you down, and blah blah blah. You're the loudest person in the whole gym. And when you bring up the whole Navy SEAL thing, and I get to asking this dude questions. He goes, "Well, I don't want to tell you that, because you might be a spook. You might be the government." And okay, for one, me working for the same government you work for is a bad thing. Like, like Ruby, like what? Like, he give him the Scooby Doo face. Like, come on, dude. If me and you were both in the military, and me and you both worked for the American government, the American military, who cares if I knew? You know what I mean? Who cares? We're on the same team here. And then the dude was just comical with his. So he didn't want to say that, and then he got into all black ops stuff, and everything's black ops with them. And then once I told him there's an open list, he was like, yeah, you could find out. I said, I could just I could go and talk to my dude, Don Shipley, because that's what I was going to do. I wanted to record him, but I didn't have my phone at the time. And I wanted to just go beep and record him and ship him off to Don Shipley. Now, and Don Shipley is a guy who is online who look at his videos. All he does is go and investigate people who say they were Navy SEALs, and he busts them wide open. And majority, you find out the majority of them aren't Navy SEALs at all. Very few of them were actually Navy SEALs. Some of them were in the Navy, but the majority of them had nothing to do with Navy SEALs. They might have served, but they were never SEALs. So, and then some of them never served at all, and some of them actually went to class and failed out of class. Now, I give it to anyone who has been, for one, in the military. Two, when you went in, you tried to be a Navy SEAL, because that training, there's a reason why there's only so many people who's ever been a Navy SEAL. Listen, when I was in the service, I was running a 2 mile in 10:28. I could swim the 50 in 24 seconds. But let me tell you, getting into the Navy SEALs and actually passing it is a whole nother level of fitness, because a lot of it is mental. Like, they're there to break you, because you're going to be in situations that will break you. You know what I mean? And the honor and the effort in that whole process is, there's dignity into that, because those guys are truly a band of brothers. I don't care what color you are. If you're a Navy SEAL, you're a Navy SEAL. And that's just that. And I understand why a lot of them are very like, yo, don't even go there if you never was a frogman. Don't put a tattoo on your arm. If you was in the Navy and you was a some type of whatever, the Navy, I've never been in, I don't know the rank, and you were in some special op group, okay, fine, that's what you did. But don't try to transfer that into something that you didn't do. But anyway, back to this, back to this fraud. He just kept talking loud. And the more questions I asked him about being a Navy SEAL, the more he didn't want to answer me, because he thought I was in the government. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. He was like, any one of you could be in the government. Now you're suspicious of everybody. But here's my thing. None of us asked you, were you a Navy SEAL? None of us. And I only asked, were you in the military? That's it. You asked me, was I in the military? I said, yes, I never told you what I did. You volunteered this information. So now you're Now you're defensive when we want to know more about what you did. Now, oh my God, it's black ops. So after that, I just kind of walked away, from the whole conversation. Uh, I just knew this guy wasn't a Navy SEAL. Here's the thing about it is, if he was a Navy SEAL, I would have been like, big ups, more power to you. Not to mention, there are some guys who are Navy SEALs who wear Navy SEAL tattoos. Like, it's not all the time that these guys are running around trying to hide it. They're very proud of what they are and what they did. I don't care how many people they done sniped or whatever, and, whatever they did, they're like, yeah, I did it for America. You don't find too many Navy SEALs who are all out remorseful, not unless they killed somebody on accident. That I understand. But, these guys aren't hiding under a rock. They're out every day just like everybody else. And they're not all, I'm a Navy SEAL. They don't have the biggest tattoo on, but they might have a tattoo somewhere where you have to look for it to find it. It may be on their arm, but it may be, under the sleeve. When the sleeve come down, they just don't go around, you know. But nonetheless, you look on their Facebook, they'll probably have their uniforms, and you'll see, frogmen, on their outfits or whatever they do to signify that they're Navy SEAL and that's what they did, what their rank was, how many tours they had. The point is, these guys are not hiding. And these guys have, done some pretty crazy stuff, but they're not like, oh, I'm just going to hide up under a rock. Some of these guys got fitness training stuff that they do for normal people. And people who want to go through a facsimile of SEAL training, the average soccer mom wants to get fit and she wants a challenge. They have these things set up, all over the country. Guys will be like, I was a Navy SEAL, this is what I did. And it will show what you did. They'll show their rank. They'll, show where they'll graduate. And they're legitimate people. They'll even get endorsements from other people who are in the military, and or Don Shipley, and say, this is what I did, you know. And if you want to learn some of the stuff I did, underwater training, they go and do it. And that's just that. So not everybody is hiding like this guy thinks all of a sudden. Yeah, it's all bullcrap, you know. So big ups to you, Navy SEALs. That's some real. Even when I was at the peak of my fitness and my ability, I still cannot cannot sit here and say, you know what, I would have went through Navy SEAL training like it's nothing. No, hell no. You getting yelled at. You got people breaking you on purpose. You eating stuff. And I'm going to tell you something that they do that just sends me straight to the moon. I know I couldn't do this. They'll put a female, one of our females, into a room and make it seem like she is in desperate need of help. She's over there crying. And as a man, even if you don't externally react internally, you just, I want to help this person, and especially if it's a woman. Like, see what I mean? Like, they mess with you. You know what I'm saying? Put kids in front of you who are, got bombs on them, whatnot. Are you gonna shoot this kid? Is this kid Al Qaeda? You know, this kid right here is Al Qaeda. You gonna blow his head off, or what are you gonna do? If you don't shoot him, he's gonna kill about 30 of us. You know what I'm saying? But you're not sure. Is he or is he not Al Qaeda? I mean, they all dress in the same type of, daily dress. Is this kid Al Qaeda or is it not? Is this kid carrying, is this kid carrying a missile? Or one of them. Is he carrying a bomb full of nails and, all that stuff that they put inside a bomb, so when it explodes, it just does more. Sometimes it doesn't even kill you, it just does a bunch of damage. It's like shrapnel, but it's like nails and glass and all that other stuff. Does this kid have one of those bombs on him? You know? So it's just training that it normally, or let me say this, it breaks any normal person down to dust. and leaves a grown man making decisions that he will question for the rest of his life. This is a situation that you could be in when it comes to being Navy SEAL or anything Black Ops. I don't care if you're a cook and you're in the service. Like my friend was, I think he was a mechanic, and when he went to war, I didn't notice till 20 years later. When he went to war, when he went to Desert Storm, they sent him off. You know, when he landed on a C-141, and he said he had to low crawl out, and he said as soon as him and his buddy stood up, his buddy got his head blown off. He had a 50 cal, he had an M16, and he had a 45. And he said his other buddy got his leg shot off, or blown off, right in front of him. So I'm saying you in situations that are just horrible, you know. And it's you either gonna be a man or a mouse. You know what I'm saying? So it's your boy Tone 202. I want to clear something up before I end this video. Stolen valor is not somebody saying that they were something. So this guy who said he was a Navy SEAL isn't necessarily committing the crime of stolen valor, which is a federal crime, because Obama amended that and said you can say what you want, but if you're collecting benefits from wearing a uniform that you didn't deserve, if you're getting free food, and sometimes people don't care if you get free food, but if you're doing it all the time, if on Veterans Day you're walking into, Denny's and saying, hey, I'm a veteran, and they're going, oh, okay, cool, and somebody looks at you and asks you what unit you in, and you say, I was in the 51st Airborne down at Fort Wackenhut. Yeah, they're gonna be like, excuse me. And somebody from 82nd or whoever is gonna, from Fort Hood or Meade or wherever they are, they're gonna be like, you what? Or if you have on an outfit, a pair of battle dress uniforms, and they're saying, and they're not sand colored, they're OD green, darker color like what I had to wear, somebody might still approach you even though I was in the service. So if I had it on and somebody approached me and I don't have all my tags on, I'll be like, dude, I was in 30 years ago. This is what we wore. Yours is different. And they say, well, how do we know that you're in the military? For one, I'd be like, why is it your business? That's for one. But nonetheless, just to shut them up, I would tell them what I did and where I was, and then tell them to get the hell out my face while I eat my food. So it's only stolen valor if you're benefiting from it in some type of way, and financial. A lot of these guys are benefiting financially, and when you're doing that, you're going to jail. You're either going to jail, you're going to get fired from your job, and this has happened. Somebody's going to call the police on you, and they should, and the police are going to come and snatch you up and take you out of there because you're committing a federal crime. It's your boy Tone 202. Don't forget to check out my music just right there. Just go ahead and Google it. I'm out.